Okay, Annie, you're joining me in DC right now. Yesterday, we both watched a big vote in the Senate, and it was totally split down party lines. So the big question is bipartisanship dead?
So obviously, if you ask people publicly, they're going to say, no, this is a priority. We want bipartisanship. But realistically, the country is so split right now that, I mean, you could have a bill that says, is the sky blue? And you would have one party vote against it and one party vote for it. Like, we are so split right now. So in a sense, yes, bipartisan is dead, but there is still the aura of pretending that bipartisan is real. And that was one of President Biden's platforms. And he
Right.
is determined to at least try and be bipartisan. But it's really hard right now. And you might argue that if you can't get 10 Republican votes right now, maybe your legislation shouldn't pass. But as I said, things are so split that you could have the best legislation in the world. And if it's a big package, you may not get those, because we have seen, just this year, what happens if you come out against your party. If we look at Wyoming
Cheney.
Republican Representative Liz Cheney, she lost her leadership position because she came out against her party. And I think that is a big fear for people.
So then another big question for you, can the Senate get anything done? I mean, it's been a bit of a struggle this session because they both kind of have a card in their pocket, right? So the Democrats have Kamala Harris to break any tiebreaker, but at the same time, we saw yesterday the GOP says, well, then we can filibuster, where are your 60 votes? So can they get anything done?
It's going to be really, really hard to get big legislation to pass, because we saw you do need those 10 Republicans at least to come out and support any Democratic legislation. So there are other options you can do, like reconciliation, which is what they did for that this most recent COVID stimulus bill. You can do executive orders, but the fear with that is if you do it too often, you might make voters angry because they're saying, hey, you're not even trying to work with other people, and that might hurt the party later on down the line in a future election. You might even alienate some of your own party. But while yesterday was big, and I think that yesterday has more lasting implications than just the vote, because what happened yesterday is Republicans voted to not even open debate. So
Right.
Not even about passing the legislation. They didn't even want to discuss it. And with those two holdouts on ending the filibuster for legislation, which are West Virginia's Democrat Joe Manchin and Arizona Kyrsten Sinema, Democratic leadership could say, hey, this is why we need to end the filibuster. Republicans aren't even willing to work with us to talk about these things, to try and sway over those two last holdouts. And if they end the filibuster, I think that's when we're going to see like a lot of legislation getting passed. But right now, those two are still holding out.
All righty. And we will be covering it along the way. So we'll see, if both parties can kind of come together. Thanks so much, Annie.
Thank you.